Hey Virgie, how you doing? It's your girl Ruth. Welcome back to part 4. Gonna wrap time today up. I know y'all see them other meaning and wonder what's going on. Okay, let's get off into it. Jupiter and Saturn. Before 2020 comes to a close, Jupiter and Saturn will be so close that they will appear to form a double planet. The Great Conjunction, as the planetary alignment as has come to be known, hasn't occurred in nearly 800 years. When their orbits align every 20 years, Jupiter and Saturn get extremely close to one another, forming the star from the three wise men seen on the way to Jesus. This occurs when their orbits align every 20 years. Jupiter and Saturn get extremely close to one another. This occurs because Jupiter orbits the Sun every 12 years, while Saturn's orbit takes 30 years. Every couple of decades, Jupiter laps Saturn, according to NASA. Last date March 4, 1226. Aligning with the winter solstice on December 21st, 2020, the two planets will be just 0.1 degrees apart, less than the diameter of a full moon. The meeting of objects in night sky, the two biggest planets in solar system, Jupiter and Saturn, can see it happen. You can come out at night and watch them get closer and closer together. Jupiter will be bright than any star in the sky. Saturn will be slightly dimmer, but still just as bright as the brightest star with a golden glow. Winter solstice. That marks the onset of winter at the time of the shortest day, about December 22nd in the northern hemisphere and June 21st in the southern hemisphere. Summer solstice. Celebrations. Supposed to celebrate festivals, spending time with loved ones, feasting, singing, dancing, fires, bonfires, whatever, fireplaces. Sagittarius and Scorpio winter solstice. Jupiter wants us to boldly leap into adventure. Saturn, stable, provides structure, blueprint to ensure that we don't gamble away our life savings on some risky venture. Together they balance us. Think before you leap, so to speak. The Fool card, O, represents the realm of limitless possibilities of these two signs. Greets Aquarius, the sign of progress and community. 0 degrees. We will be in the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius for the next 150 years. As oceans fill with plaster, sorry about that, y'all. As oceans fill with plastics and carbon erosions heat with the air and melt the ice caps, we are getting clear signs that our planet can no longer sustain the systematic expansion that has occurred under the last 200 years of Earth sign Saturn Jupiter conjunction. Air signs, on the other hand, are associated with scientific and intellectual developments, technology, interpersonal relationships. From space travel to communal space, 2020's great conjunction in Aquarius sets up for 2 decades where life could become more scientific and more cottage core, back to the land, similarities, back to the basic, so to speak. Jupiter and Saturn will co-plight through Aquarius for most of 2021, except for May 13 and July 28. So think of the Great Conjunction as a launch pad for the coming year. While Jupiter can be impatient, slowpoke Saturn is the ruler of time, spacing the whole process, pacing the whole process. Sometimes it will be marathon, sometimes you'll need to sprint. Virgo, you could get a wake up call to take better care of yourself and to find a healthier work life balance. Cut out stress, ask for help, and allow yourself to receive it, treating your body as a temple it is. If you have fallen off the wellness wagon, Saturn and Jupiter will host you back on. Okay, Jupiter and Virgo. People who have Jupiter and Virgo on their birth chart. I'm not sure my mom does. Let me see if she has Jupiter and Virgo. No, she does not. Okay. You wish to stick to your tired and tested methods of life. Jupiter is Joblin. Remember to go here, y'all. Find out your birth chart, remember? Okay? Very important. Jupiter is jovial. The Virgo is helpful. When we talked about who jovial was, amongst many other qualities, or did we? Therefore, those born with Jupiter and Virgo in their natal chart will rush to give a hand wherever others will feel like the world is falling apart around them. Virgo, the fifth sign in the zodiac, earth sign, feminine sign, is the goddess of innocence and purity. As Astraea, Azraea, Zeus sent Pandora down to earth as a punishment to men. She became the constellation Virgo, and according to legend, when the golden age comes again, Azraela, Pandora, will return to earth. Okay? She was curious and opened the box the gods had warned her not to open, and let the plagues of hate, envy, sickness, etc. out into the world. Of course, hope did not escape, but the earth was just unbearable. One by one, the gods returned to the heavens to live. Astera was the last to leave. She became the constellation Virgo, and according to legend, when the golden ages comes again, Astera will return to the earth. Holding the scales of justice in her hand, ancient times this scales was Virgo. The story behind Virgo. A mutable earth sign brings order and perfection to the world through the alchemical synthesis of the paradox. She carries fire and grain and embodies the secrets of life, the circles of nature, and the force that makes things grow. A feminine sign is ruled by Mercury and Chiron and Cretes, the Roman goddess of the harvest. Despite these modern suggesting Mercury is exalted in Virgo and aids another layer of symbolism to the healing notify of the sign. Virgo is balanced and complemented by the opposite sign of Pisces, ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. Virgo looks like an looks like an M with a loop that represents a serpent's head boring into the earth. This is the coiled Kundalini serpent symbol, the signs contained and potential mystery of Shekai, the inner fire of consciousness grounded in the body. Compare this Scorpio's head rises up. Okay. The loop also forms the shape of the Vasquez pipe. Wait a minute. Sorry, y'all can't see. A symbol of the union of opposites connected with sacred geometry and the divine feminine in the form of yoni, of the yoni. Virgo, the Greek goddess of justice. Her name means star maiden. So when Jupiter and Saturn is lighting up there together, that's what it's called, the star maiden, y'all. That's what it's going to form. So Virgo, y'all be coming back to make things right, to put things in perspective. But everybody's sign you're going to be doing both of your signs this time. Okay? The daughter of Titan, Astratus, god of dusk, and Eos, goddess of dawn, Astraeus. Excuse me, daughter of dusk. and Eos, goddess of dawn, represents natural law. She upholds the balance of the seasons and living in accordance with nature. So the silver age also, along with the golden age, will be here. So both together. So it's no surprise she's not a fan of humans who have an annoyance tendency to ignore and transgress the natural order when it suits them despite the consequences. The sign of, of applied mathematics and practical science for astronomical observations and organizing society. Also dying and resurrecting God. When seeds are planted, it dies, releasing energy so the plant can grow. At harvest, the plants are thrust and transformed in another al- alchem- 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 alchemy act of death and resurrection. Alchemical. Babylonian goddess. Pharaoh. So these are different goddesses in different, so you can know Virgo was in those different languages. Goddess Pharaoh, Furoro, Furrow. Grain goddess Sheila, holding an ear of barley. Virgo myth of the Sumerian. Goddess Inanna, descended into the underworld to be reborn, bringing fertility to the land. And Anna and Ishar, Ishar, is a fertility goddess who was known as the Great Harlot. So you both of them names. See both signs, your Pisces and your Virgo. Remember, as the whore of Babylon in the Bible of Christianity, she was worshipped in rise of sacred prostitution, where her priestess would have ritual sex with the king in order to maintain the fertility of the land. So don't dispute that if we don't know what they're talking about. We don't know. We're trying to learn. Because y'all already know all this stuff they've been teaching us a lie. So now it's time to get it together. And Sumerian was the great healer goddess, doctor of the land. She was a midwife. Another name, Gula, Bau, Ba, goddess of the underworld, who lived in the garden, great physician, could heal and bring the dead back to life. She included Lady of the Bird, Preserver of Life, Counselor of Kings, she who is able to restore life. She who waters the tree that forms the axe is of the world and offers to its fruits to her worshippers and more. The garden at the center of the world should be familiar as the Garden of Eden. There's a cylinder seal dated 2500 BCE that shows two figures sitting either side of the tree of life, a serpent rising behind one of them. This could be Gulabau and the consort offering up the fruit of knowledge. Wow. So I'll just kind of sit over here. So we're going to make sure this is the snake and we like the two people sitting at the tree of life. Okay. So I'm going to show y'all some pictures in a minute too. You know I got to go extra. So that's what you're going to see. Virgo shining, coming back to correct things. Okay. And Egypt symbolized by two figures, Isis holding a sceptrum and Set standing behind her. Isis was known as Set to the ancient Egyptians and was the goddess of fertility, magic, and motherhood. Set was responsible for killing Osiris, the husband of Isis, and the citrum was a magical musical instrument that was shaken towards him off. After Set killed Osiris, Isis searched for his dismembered body in order to bring him back from the dead so she could conceive Horus. This links Virgo to the death and resurrection of Osiris, which was associated with bringing fertility to the land. Isis, as the god of the underworld, Osiris is often shown with grain sprouting from his dead body. In the coffin text, he explains how the works Nipper, grain, Gab means earth. I am Osiris. I live and grow as Nipper, whom the august gods bring forth that I may cover Gab. Whether I be alive or dead, I am barley. I am not destroyed. He can only do this with Isis. The alchemy of life coming from death is mirrored in the making of beer and bread. Seeds can't be digested unless they're cooked or fermented. So the grain must be killed and transferred into something edible. To the ancient Egyptians, bread and beer were more than just food. They were also seen as spiritual nourishment for the dead in the underworld. The bread and beer of Osiris would later become the bread and wine of the Christian faith. The meaning of Virgo is a contradictory and paradoxical sign, and it can be hard to embody opposites like Virgo and the harlot, or fertility and barren, or mother and maiden. But the understanding the meaning of the word virgin can help to clear up the confusion. It was originally applied to the unmarried woman, including mothers. Okay. The Gnostic text, the thunder, perfect mind, goddess Sophia. She is more, she is, for I am, this is what she says, for I am the first and the last. I am the honored one and the scorned one. I am the whore and the holy one. I am the wife and the virgin. I am the members of my mother. I am the barren one of many are her sons. I am she whose wedding is great, and I have not taken a husband. I am every woman. Okay. Virgin has nothing to do with chastity or remaining sexually intact. A free woman or person who allows her own mortality based on inner integrity, not the law. So being what? Free. Hey, okay. Hey, check it out. I'm going to try to read a little bit about Jupiter and Saturn. Hopefully I got time. Jupiter, the sun. Saturn, the father. Okay. Um, Osiris, king of the god. Zeus, who is the Holy Spirit. Okay. Water or earth sign. Scorpio, the dove. Phoenix and dove, the symbol of peace. While most people conduit it to be a venomous creature, the true power of it lies in healing and spreading peace. This is the ultimate way of exerting one's power. That is the reason this token is symbolized by a dove, the Holy Spirit. Jupiter, Zeus, or Roman mythology, god of the sky and thunder. His brother Pluto and his sister Crete. Jove, sky father, same as Zeus. Juno, his wife, Roman virgin of the Greek goddess of love and marriage. Hera, Libra, she was a Libra. Juno was the wife and sister of Jupiter, the chief Roman god, and the two of them were worshipped along with the goddess Minerva in Rome. The king regards gods of Saturn for him to eat. Saturn believed he had eaten Jupiter, but Jupiter was saved. Jupiter, sky and lightning god, member of the Arctic and Capitoline triads. They have a statue of them. Okay, let's see. History of birth. Saturn, who was the previous king of the gods, began to swallow the children that he had with his wife. When they were born, this was because he had been warned that one of his children would overthrow him. Saturn swallowed the children Neptune, Pluto, Crete, Juno, and Vesta. When Ops realized that she was pregnant, his wife, with Jupiter, she had the baby secretly and moved to Crete, giving a stone wrapped on baby, giving a stone wrapped on, giving stone wrapped in baby clothes to Saturn. for him to eat. Saturn believed he had eaten Jupiter, but Jupiter was saved, so she gave him a rock to eat, overthrowing Saturn. After Jupiter was raised by his mother, his destiny was to take over his own father Saturn as revenge for all he had done to his brothers and sisters in the past. When Jupiter gave up, he made Saturn vomit up all the children he had swallowed. All the brothers and sisters joined forces and overthrew Saturn. Battle of the Titans. Then, with the help of the Cyclops and the hornet land giants, they declared war on Saturn and other Titans. Jupiter finally defeated the Titans and they were imprisoned in Tartarus. Okay. Yeah, Jupiter. Wait a minute, this is another part. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm jumping too much. Okay. Zeus, god of the sky. This is how Jupiter became king of the gods. Jupiter, god of the sky, lightning and thunder in ancient Greek religion and legends, ruler of all the gods on Mount Olympus. Zeus is the sixth child of Cronus and Rhea, king and queen of the Titans. His father Cronus swallowed his children. See the pattern? As soon as they were born, for fear of prophecy, which foretold that one of them would overthrow them. So now Zeus, his father, is the one doing it. When Zeus was born, Rhea had him in a cave on Mount Ida and Crete, swallowing Cronus to Jesus, stone wrapped in swaddling clothes to swallow instead. Okay? Same story over and over and over again. Okay? This is the story of Saturn and Jupiter. Okay? Jupiter, this is the Egyptian. Jupiter and the eye of Horus, the serpent mountain and celestial egg. Jupiter, the Egyptian god Horus, seen here is a hawk with his wings spread like the grasping mouth of the serpent on the face of Jupiter, poised and ready to engulf the adorning eye. The eye of Jupiter as the celestial egg of myth, lore as no other origin of record. These records are attached in stone in the pyramid of Saggara and are known to us as the pyramid text. Osiris the king, the gods have knit together your face for you. The Horus has given you his eyes that you may see with it. Who is Horus? What is special about Jupiter? Okay. Hold on, let me show y'all some pictures right quick. Okay, I'm jump right on. See. Hopefully I can see that. This is a marble statue of Jupiter. See what he got? And got the eagle. Okay. Hope y'all can see that. Put that down. And then this is Zeus. He got the lightning bolt. Okay. And then we have, we didn't show Gaia. Sorry, y'all. You know, this was funny. I'll talk about this later. Wrong thing. This is Virgo's myth Egypt when I was talking about the tree of life and them sitting down and then the snake, Virgo. Okay. What else I see? The eye. Okay. What is this? Oh, that's when I was talking about it first. Something else I had. Let me see. I'm going to show this because it was so strange to me. I had found this. His name is George Washington Morris Nutt. He was a midget. But when I looked at Jupiter, it says Jupiter is a brown dwarf. Brown dwarfs like Jupiter emit radiation but are too small to be the stars. Their principal feature are the storm systems with their high velocity winds that operate in opposite direction to register telltale banded cloud patterns on their surface. The strange permissal of the winds make for a knitted appearance between adjacent bands of storms. It was just so funny to me, y'all. Ancients wrote so memorable Jupiter as Osiris the king. Identified Jupiter as Osiris the king. Osiris the king, the gods have knitted together your face for you. Brown dwarfs do other things that are for more interesting than their storms. They inject missiles, fashion planetary bodies. The ancient believed that Jupiter, being what we call the brown dwarf, was the of the earth. Earth was fashioned, as their story goes, written in the very depth of Jupiter, and was erected into space through the stormy eye of the mouth of the serpent as Horus of the gods. It was this belief that was eternally immortalized in the mouth of the eye of Horus. The gods who knitted the face of Jupiter were the nine of the Ennead, Ennead, Atum, Shu, Tfenet, Gb, Nut, Nut, Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephy, Thys. One can see in the text that the god would use these names when speaking, but when the gods performed tasks, oh sorry, yeah, the names would assume modifiers. Hence it was that Osiris was Osiris the king, when as the god he was Jupiter. A manner, by the way, that carried over to Greek and Roman times, aka Java, Jov, aka Zeus. And this brings us to the point, starting with the 10-day festival of seeing what else was said. The ancient celebration special. It just tripped me out when I found that, about it being a dwarf planet. And then I found that guy, it just popped up about him being a dwarf. I was wondering, I didn't read his story to see was it associated some kind of way. I don't know, let me see what it says. He was a midget. He was touring New England with the circus. Hired him to appear as American Museum in New York City. Gave Nut the strange name Commodore Nut, a wardrobe that included naval uniforms and miniature carriage in the shape of an English walnut. Nut became one of the museum's major attractions. I don't know, y'all. This was strange to me. Okay, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed that. So yeah, it means Jupiter is the sun, Saturn is his daddy, and they'll be coming back. And the Virgo is the star. Where I got it at? Sorry, hope it not hang up on me. What I got? The star goddess.